Was super inspired about that I'm going to show you, and the product, it is so interesting how you talk when you just allow yourself to be. Hi, how you doing? I'm doing great, thanks for asking. I have a vlog to show you. I was coming home from school and I was sitting in the car and I was just like so struck in that moment by the many practices I've been implementing lately, and like how the massive impact that they've had on my life, and how I'm actually seeing tangible change, in my mood and my behaviors and my performance, things like that lately, like in a huge way. So I recorded a vlog about that. It's me like freaking out about it pretty much. And I want to share with you some of those practices. So if you want, pull out some notes. And I mentioned at the beginning of the recording about nihilism, and I'm not sure what connotation you have about that, but it's colored a lot of my experience lately. Let me explain just a little bit of that so you have some context going into that vlog. Excuse me, because I believe that I mentioned it a couple times. So nihilism is basically the belief in nothing. It basically assumes that there's no purpose to this existence, there's no morality, there's no meaning unless people attribute meaning onto things. Pretty much, it just assumes that there's no meaning. And I've kind of had a collapse of my belief systems into nihilism, the belief in no meaning, because I went from a Christian, and then I started questioning that and being like, that doesn't really make much sense to me. And then I joined spirituality, but then I was just like, wait, I left one belief system and went right into another belief system. So I was like, wait, that can't be right either. Like, why am I just taking everyone else's word for it? Why don't I just figure this out myself? And then I just kept asking why? And then I ended up at nothing, which is the fate of a lot of people, I'm now finding out. But that's what nihilism is. In that nothingness, mind you, I've found a lot of freedom. I feel like I've taken the limitations off of myself. I'm no longer judging myself based on some kind of like societal expectation, or like some kind of peer friendly or familial expectation, like, because there are no expectations in my current belief system. There are no expectations. I'm allowed to just be, and there's no morality attached to what I do or do not do, and it's pretty cool. And don't think, never mind, I can't control what you think. But if you have any more questions about this nihilism thing in my particular perspective on it, because I don't agree with everything just nihilists in general believe. That goes with any label. Everyone has their own individual experience with a particular label, thought system, belief system, any kind of thing like that. But if you have any more questions about that, please ask me. But outside of that, I think that is covered. Also, this video is recorded in vertical view. I will definitely do horizontal view in the future. I'm sure that's a lot more palatable for you to watch. So, without further ado, here is that vlog. There's a reason I've settled on planning. So I broke it all the way down and went into nihilism, and I realized that, okay, life has no meaning. And I was just like, okay, so in that, it's so freaking beautiful. I'm going to pick a couple things that I want to do, and then I'm going to go do them. And in wanting to do these things, coming from that place of zero and then just being like, okay, now I'm going to just do what I want. I have to figure out what the best way to do what I want is. I have to figure out what that is. So in figuring out what the best way is, I've taken on a lot of different practices. So that is a couple of ones that I'm so proud of accomplishing so far are waking up in the morning and going outside, and I'm getting sunlight into my eyes. I've heard that it's activating the vitamin A receptors in our eyes, and it's resetting, activating our circadian rhythm. It makes it easier to keep a regular sleep schedule. And that's another thing, keeping a regular sleep schedule. I realized the power of sleep, and I've gotten into going to sleep at 11 every night, at the very least, if not 10:30, and waking up at 6:45 every day. Saturday, Sunday, breaks included, and it's been working so freaking well. I've integrated the belief that it's not my sleep that's, making me feel depressed or whatever. It's my mindset. And in that, I've allowed myself to, not rely on sleep. So when I'm feeling a bad mood, I'm not like, oh, I have to get up,
oh, I have to take a nap, or oh, I need to meditate. If I don't meditate, I'll never get out of this mood. Like, no, I can shake a mood any kind of way. There's so many freaking ways to shake a mood. And there's so many ways to, de-stress. In the morning, going outside, I've been stretching, so I want to increase my flexibility. That's something I want to do. So along with going outside, I start stretching and doing various exercises, things like that, waking my body up, getting that going, breathing, getting the fresh air in my lungs. And then next step, first I go outside. Next step is I come inside and take an ice cold shower. I got this from Wim Hof, and this is his whole mantra. Taking cold showers, activating, he does breathing first, to make the body more alkaline, he says, and to prepare the body for the cold water. And then you step into the cold, and it shuts down the anxious response. It shuts down the stress response. And oh my gosh, the effects are incredible. Like, I'll be in a murky, kind of disgusting kind of thought pattern. It's just spiraling, and I'm just like, wait a minute, I can take a cold shower. And I take that cold shower, I work myself up, get hyped up, and I jump in that cold ice water shower all the way down to cold. I don't play with it. I'm going straight into ice water, and it's just the shock. It's just gone. Those thoughts are gone, and I can just knock myself into a new vibration, and it's freaking awesome, and it's been working, and it gets me out of that funk, and oh my gosh, it's changed my life, because I used to think that moods were just permanent, and it's just, that's how it is. And then another thing that I've integrated is the Book of Prophecies. So procrastination is a huge freaking deal in my life. It's just appalling how huge of an effect it's had in my life. And the Book of Prophecies is something that I've used to activate flow. When I was procrastinating, I felt like that I was only able to get into the flow at the very last minute, right before that deadline. But with the Book of Prophecies, I'm able to activate that flow on its own. And the Book of Prophecies, basically, I take a broad task and I break it up into smaller parts. So if it's a paper, I'm like, okay, read this article, and then I write 15 minutes next to it, and then I say done by whatever time is 15 minutes from now. And for that moment, that's all I'm focusing on. I'm zoned in, honed in, and that recreates the experience that I have right before a deadline, in real time, a deadline that my teacher gives me. I've self-created a deadline, and I've forcibly, artificially activated that flow. That's what the Book of Prophecies does for me. So it's taking those broader projects, breaking them down, and then setting different time slots in my own artificial deadlines. And it's freaking working. And I mean, part of why it's working is because I believe in it. I was just like, this is the only way. I'm so fucking sick and tired of not being productive, and I'm so sick and tired of sitting for hours and feeling depressed and then feeling unworthy and feeling like a piece of crap for not having this productivity. So I'm just like, I'm gonna try anything, and if it works, if it takes a little bit of self-discipline, what's gonna get me through that self-discipline is because I'm sick and tired of working unproductively. I'm sick and tired of not being optimized. I'm sick and tired of this not working. So the reason I started off with breaking it all the way down is because I am coming from a place of zero. I built up to this. It's not like I'm already up here lofty and high, floating and high strung, and I just got all this stuff going on, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, do I even want this? I don't have to question my fucking beliefs anymore, because I went all the way down to zero, and I was just like, what do I want? I want a lot of different things. I could go into that, but one of the things that I want is to be optimized, and I no longer want to be working in this unproductive way. So the Book of Prophecies is another thing, but this is all leading into what I actually wanted to talk about, which is planning. In this breaking it down all the way to zero, I've realized that planning is the only way to go in being optimized. Because I'm just like, when I've let go of a lot of fear lately, and I'm starting to get into a sort of flow with my work, and I'm just like, wait a minute, like, I don't really need like breaks and shit. Like, I can just do, and I literally can work all day, and I don't mind at all, because my sleep is so restful, and my daily life is so, like, I'm so introspective about my daily life. It's so mindful, like my peace is in my work. Like, I'm so out of peace when I'm not working. Like, I have to make an active effort to be at peace when I'm not doing anything, even like researching, like that's my flow, and that's my free time stuff. When I'm researching and studying and learning and exploring, like, that is doing for me. It's doing, searching out information to an end. So I have to be doing. Like, what the fuck am I even here for if I'm not doing? So, oh my gosh, it's a lot. It's a lot. And like any one of these things that I talked about in this video thus far, I could go further into. Yeah, there's a lot going on. But planning, like I said, I broke it all the way down. I got to the point where I'm just like, planning is the only way I'm going to make this happen. I have identified things that I want, and it's just like, I've noticed the anxiety and stress that comes along with not knowing what I'm going to do and when I'm going to do it. So like constantly reevaluating throughout the day is a waste of time. And it's just not flowing. That is not in flow. It's literally anxiety and stress inducing, because these are hard things that I'm doing, like these school projects and, these business deals. Like, these are difficult and challenging things. And for me to not have a plan for it and to have it up in the air, have it be, should I, shouldn't I, will I, won't I? It is so freaking stressful. And the Book of Prophecies was my way in. I'm just like, I can artificially activate the flow if I have a plan. I have so much energy. But if I'm not directing it, I'm lost. If I'm not telling the energy where to go, I am lost. That's why I've settled on planning. So the next step in my journey is to create a plan. And I've already been doing it without knowing. I have 3 lists that I work on. I have today, which is things that must be done today. I have business, which is, a bunch of business things that I've been putting on the back burner. That list isn't really being optimized. And then I have study. This is the list I refer to in my free time. And I have all the things that I'm so curious about researching. So that could be one of the things on there was researching astronauts to see like what that experience of going to space is like, and then coming back, like what is that experience like? And I wrote that down, so when I did get some free time, I was able to research that, or put a podcast on, or put a video on and listen to it while I'm doing other things, or while I'm driving home, something like that, and it's been working. Those lists have been working. So I'm going to take that even further and harness this energy that exists, that I have, and that just hasn't been optimized yet, that hasn't been directed, because I literally have all this energy. And like I said, if I'm not directing it anywhere, it's just fruitless. It's just being wasted. And it's just this whirlwind, and it's so stressful, and I'm tired of it. So I'm going to go into planning, and I'm going to make this happen. And it was so in sync that I just watched King Richard yesterday. King Richard, the movie about Serena and Venus Williams' father. And in that movie, he put up a sign on the fence outside of or next to the tennis court where they were practicing, and it said, "If you fail to plan, you plan to fail." And I was just like, oh shit, okay, message received. So planning. I'm gonna harness this energy. I'm gonna tap into flow. It just makes sense to me now. And the reason this is so profound to me is because planning used to be the craziest shit to me. It used to be so scary. I was just like, I don't want to restrict myself. I don't want to be a drone. How do people get into self-discipline? How do you wake up at 6 a.m. every day? Because I don't want to do that shit. But that's where it starts. A want. And I want this. Not only because I'm sick and tired of anything else, but because I broke it all the way down in my core wants. I want to be optimized. And in my core wants, I want certain things, but in order to get those things, I have to be optimized. I have to practice these habits. I have to do cold showers. I have to, practice regular sleep schedules. I have to do that because I have to get my mind right, and I have to get my mind right in order to become financially free. It's this chain, but that goes all the way down to the core thing. And you know what? Maybe I should write it all out so it's organized and I know where my wants are and what the core and root of them are, so I can use that as a point of reference. But man, oh man, it starts with wants. You know, none of this self-optimization stuff, this planning, this scheduling, and this being intentional, artificial flow, like none of this stuff ever made sense to me because I didn't really want it. And it didn't make sense to me. I'm like, just like, why does this work? Once you realize why it works, like, the reason I started cold showers is because I was watching this Wim Hof thing. It's on Gwyneth Paltrow's Goop series, the Goop Lab on Netflix. Go watch it. There's so many great episodes in there, but Wim Hof, I think, is the second episode. And I was watching this, and it was like a video argument, and he proved to me why cold showers work, and I was like, oh shit. Like, and it was helping people reduce their anxiety and stuff, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like this is it, you know? It proved to me that it works. So maybe part of it is also not believing that it'll actually work, you know? Because I believe them damn naps will help me in my productivity, and that's why I did them. And I was afraid not to. Oh my gosh, it was a lot. It was a lot of stuff. It was a lot of stuff. All right. Yeah, that's it. So planning is the next step for me. I recorded this video. I'm not sure what I'll do with it. I'm not sure where it's going to go, but I recorded this video really to myself as a reminder. I don't ever want to forget why I'm doing this. So the next step is planning. Thank you for listening. Have an awesome day. Leave a like on this video, and if you want to grow, stick around and follow me.